What's up guys, my name is Liam and today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Vaxee PE. I've been testing this out for about a month now and it is my current favorite control pad. And in this video, I'm going to break down to you why that is. We're going to be comparing it to some of the competition and I'm going to try and help you decide whether or not this could be the perfect control mouse pad for you. So let's check it out. This did arrive to my front door flat package and it is sitting at 480 millimeters in width by 400 millimeters in height, and it is sitting at 5 millimeters in thickness. This is using a newly developed base material and the back of this is very sticky. The weight of this comes in around 975 grams compared to something like the Vaxee PE, which weighs around 240 grams. So the combination of the weight with this sticky base makes it feel really stable on your desk. This is also using their new rounded edge design, very similar to the PC, which I talked about in a previous video. And I do feel like this edging design is far superior to anything that is currently on the market. I do know that Vaxee is not the first company to ever do some type of an edgeless design like this, but in my opinion, I don't feel like anybody has ever done it as perfectly as this. I mean, you just have an absolutely seamless transition from the top down to the base on the bottom. You don't have anything overhanging on the edge that interferes with the way that it seats on your desk or anything like that. So I really do feel like this is as premium feeling and as good as it gets. And I do believe the reason this is not being replicated more often is because it is such a complicated process to do. I have spoken with Vaxee about them coming out with larger sizes of these mouse pads, and they did tell me that if they had the opportunity to do so, they would absolutely do it. Just with how the process of these are made, they don't currently have the option to be able to do so. And in fact, the manufacturing process of these mouse pads is so complicated that they're currently getting a low yield on the final product of these. So when this does become available, it is going to have limited availability. Their logo is right here in the corner and it is raised up off of the surface. So if you were to move your mouse down there, you can feel it on the bottom of your skates. This is using the same surface as the PA and even the PB. So if you've had any experience with those in the past, you're going to have a really good general idea on how the speed and the performance of this feels. So the performance you're getting with this the entire time is this is a really great control offering. With the base is what really makes this stand apart for me and feel so different from just about anything else out there. As you're pushing into this, you do notice a little bit amount of give to it, but this is one of the more firmer style bases that I've ever used before. I wouldn't say is the most firm base that I've ever used, but it definitely is up there, and the rebound properties on it are incredibly quick. And the performance that you're getting with the combination of this surface and this base is you get a very controlled glide. But with that being said, if you're to come down into the micro adjustments, the second you push into this pad, you can stop on a dime, but it doesn't feel at all sinky or anything like that, to where when you're trying to change directions or come out of a stop, you're able to get right back into your glide or right back into the other direction really quickly, and it's almost effortlessly. So I typically prefer speed pads, but with this you just get so much consistent stability. And I've been going back and forth and testing this out with a variety of different games. No matter what I've been throwing at it, what type of games that I've been playing, it seems to work perfectly on. The fact that it's just so smooth to making any type of change in directions or transitions, anything like that. So really solid control and stability the entire time that you're using this. And in case you're wondering how this compares to something like the Vaxee PE Black, since this does come available in a larger size, the overall feeling and performance on the surface between both of these is really similar to one another. The PE does feel a little bit more plush, so it is easier to push into. The amount of stability that you do get from the PD is honestly just kind of a step up and in a league of its own. So I'm going to go ahead and showcase a bunch of comparisons to a lot of the top control options that are currently out there on the market, just to give you guys kind of a general overall idea on where this sits in terms of speed. Alright guys, so that about wraps things up on the Vaxee PE. Typically, I'm more of a speed pad person myself, but just something about the overall performance and consistency, the feeling of this in general, just feels great. The second I got this, I put it on my desk, I have not wanted to take it off, and honestly, this has been the pad that I've been using as my main for the past month. Even after this review is over, I'm going to be putting this back on my desk. Since I've started using it, my aim has just felt really consistent, and just everything about the performance and properties of this pad has just been working out really well for me. The weight of this with the rounded edge design really does make it unique and stand apart from anything else out there. The only one true drawback is I do wish that they could have this come available in a larger size. Just unfortunately, that's not a reality at this point in time. But aside from that, everything about this I've been truly enjoying. So if you guys have any questions or feel like I left anything out, please let me know down in the comments below. If you've enjoyed watching this video and are interested in seeing more videos like this in the future, please drop this video a like and subscribe to my channel. And thank you guys so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.